But last episode I had mentioned apparently I have an Instagram addiction. I just thought I was mentioning a hobby, but apparently my friend Jeff, who was here,
and
Ashley. And
Caleb's
Ashley,
story about Ashley.
And
Caleb's
story,
experience.
and everybody has stories about Mikey and Instagram, except for Matt, because you know why? Because he's not on Instagram. So,
but now that I heard it, I'm in on the.
And you'll catch up. You'll see that I've sent you weeks of reels that you haven't watched.
Dude, not my person to send videos to.
It's okay, and I know that. But the reason at this point that I continuously send you videos is because I know how it's like. Almost like nails on a chalkboard or rubbing.
I don't even check my
petting a cat
Instagram.
against.
I don't get badges. I don't get nothing.
That's great.
No notifications.
No, that's great. I hope.
I'm just hearing about this.
No, have you not checked? When was the last time you checked your email? Because I've been
email.
I've been having you spam emailed for a while now.
Motherfucker,
I just assume I get spam email.
Oh, I have you, dude. You need to check. You've probably got over 250.
Email address?
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, okay, because we're making shit up now.
No, we're not making anything up, Matt. There's nothing made up.
Okay, well, but getting back to what you're saying,
it's no point. It's not polite to point.
This is made up.
So what's made? All right. So last week I brought up the author, the man himself, Michael Sawan, otherwise on Instagram known as Softmax Plus, the one and only, the friendly little clown boy who's just trying to sell books. And speaking of books, last week I told you I bought his books, right?
And here they are.
He has 4 of them, and there's
flesh.
2 of them. And I can only get these so close to this little camera.
Yeah, but
here.
he's actually holding them. We're not digitally imposing them.
It's okay. We're holding them. I'm holding them up.
He bought these books.
But it's When in Doubt, A Left Gets Mystery, and Pizza Powerhouse, Pizza Boy's Dream. It's about this one is about a pizza-themed gang that corrupts the lives of 3 teenagers, and this is part 1. This one is a depraved detective who solves mysteries with his dick while lusty hotties collide in paradise. So as of right now I'm reading When in Doubt, The Left Gets Mystery, about the detective who solves mysteries with his dick. And I'm 6 chapters in, which I feel like is almost about the halfway mark of this book. And if I'm being honest, I knew if you go look at this dude on Instagram and you're checking him out, you're going to initially have a reaction and you're going to kind of think, you know what you're in for if you bought a book from a guy that's wearing
I think of him as a performance artist or like a persona that he's embraced.
Okay, but yes, no doubt. But if you're buying a book from a man in a suit from perhaps it was his uncle's or from a thrift store and he's wearing clown makeup, you're going to expect that the book is going to be, of course, zany, wacky, creative, slightly absurd, right?
Yeah.
And that's while all of that exists in this book, When in Doubt. But what also exists in this book that I was not ready for, and I'm also hats off to the guy, surprised, is the amount of like romance in this book that's not
it's
full
like
of shit.
Literally 2 different books in there.
It's 2 different books and also
styles of writing. It sounds like it's literally like this part of the story is romantic and it's the whole style of writing is a take on that theme. And this other one's absurdist detective, whatever, personal private investigator. It's going to be its own different style of writing.
And he is
within the same book.
Whenever you're reading in each chapter, it's like it alternates. So you're going from Left Gets to Misty and Pony Island to Left Gets and Misty and Pony Island.
One style book to completely another style book.
Yes, and so when you're dealing with Left Gets, you can expect to.
Is it always on the left page?
That's a good point. It might be Left Gets. I'll have to check that out. But Left Gets is always like anytime you're dealing with him, you know that you're going to run into some depraved, funny shit.
Yeah.
Whenever you're dealing with Misty, it's like there's not really much of that. Every now and then, I've only think a few times he's added something in that was like kind of like, you know. Okay.
Yeah.
A little edgy. But most of it, I'm like, dude, holy shit. And then, 2, aside from the fact that it's like he's actually capturing something that I feel like could be some little Netflix story.
Yeah.
Like, aside from that, the mystery aspect and the detective theme of this book from Left Gets, like, this is some good detective noir shit.
Yeah. And I can only imagine where and how the stories intersect, and if the styles of writing.
If they do,
they have to.
I feel like they would.
Otherwise,
right?
it'd just be 2 different books.
I know, but isn't that with didn't Nietzsche do Twilight of the Idols and Nietzsche had a book that was like 2 books in one, essentially. I feel like they were different though.
Huh? I'm not sure.
It was like the birth of the Antichrist and Twilight of the Idols. I think were both in one book.
Huh?
So I don't know if that's the case here,
Yeah.
but either way, so far, but I'm actually really, really, really blown away by the range that he has, because he satisfied.
He surpassed expectations tremendously.
One, he satisfied all of what I was looking for. He satisfied all the humor, the comedy, the absurdity. All of that has been like what I expected in better.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, I don't want to give too much away, but I've laughed my ass off at this.
That's good.
And so all of that to say that in the meantime of me reading these books and mentioning him.
You made a statement that something was going to happen.
And I made a statement that I will get him on the podcast, and he will be on here and join us. And
I think he just said before the end of the year, maybe?
I just said that I'm going to, mark my words, I'm going to get him on here.
You didn't even give us a timeline.
I didn't. I just said, mark my words, I'm going to have him on. And lo and behold, you know what's coming. Michael Sawan will be joining us
within
next
2 weeks
Sunday.
It could have even been tonight.
He agreed to do it tonight. He was like, unless this Sunday, he said, unless this Sunday is too soon. And it's not that it was too soon. It's that I wonder. It was too soon in the sense that I didn't have a chance to read these books because I got them.
Were better for.
I got them a day and a half late. And so it was like I wanted to be able to get through these books and understand them and be able to ask, because I told him I want to actually do you justice and give a real interview and be able to kind of see
meaningful questions, addressing specific points.
And I have a decent amount of questions already lined up, and again, I all want them to be kind of centered around his inspirations for things such as that and things. But either way, this is the announcement that Michael Sawan, otherwise known as Softmax Plus on Instagram, will be joining us. He's also on TikTok. He's got a website. I mentioned it before. We can ping it again in the description if Matt doesn't mind, things like that.
Gladly.
But he'll, man. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm too, man. This is
he's actually
pretty nuts.
He's really looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, he seems quite engaged.
Yeah, and it was really cool. The fact that he's as responsive as he is, and he's also, it seems like he really wants to do it as well. So that was nice, man. And
his texts seem to have genuine enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Somehow, but I think that is what he's communicating.
No, and I mean, I'm glad that he saw the genuine interest, and that he understood that it's like, hey, man, I'm really not trying to like. I understand that when you're doing stuff like that,
just like we're trying to do our thing.
Exactly, and it's just like I think it'd be so cool to be able to just kind of, be able to just interview the guy. That's it. I just think it'd be cool to talk to the guy and see what he's doing and just figure out, like we do with Billy. I think it's great when you talk to super creative people that are doing their own thing.
Ask
and
them
being
about the
able
process. Ask them about what in their childhood, when did they eventually even want to start writing?
Did they know that these things were something they wanted to do? And also what I'm really, I don't want to give, this is a question, I'm going to give it away. Maybe this is a teaser to keep you guys engaged. But one of my questions is going to be, how is it that he balances doing his social media and his online presence while also writing books and doing what it is that gives him his kind of notoriety and his bread and butter? Because I'm interested in that. I know he has help with recording, but it is interesting to me. Where is that balance? He's written about 4 books, and so it's like, where does that balance find itself? So that's going to be a question because I'm interested.
I'll have a couple too. So
awesome.
But yeah, man. Well, that's good. That's about as good as a time as any to bring us to our closing seggy.